Tonight, 9/11 first responders and their families still unbelievably having to fight to get full compensation for their suffering. A leading advocate who was himself injured at Ground Zero, he'll join us to discuss his battles with Congress for the money. Then former Congresswoman Liz Holtzman, she'll join us to take a look at the Mueller probe. She was on the House Judiciary Committee during the Watergate hearings. She'll also compare what happened then to what's happening now. And then we put a human face on the sexual abuse scandal. We'll be speaking to a victim who is now an advocate. She tells us whether she's satisfied with the Vatican's latest moves to deal with the crisis. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to RFL. I am Richard French, and thank you for joining us.
It should not have to be a fight to pass this bill again. Congress must not sit idly by, ignoring this suffering, passing it off as someone else's problem, while drastic cuts are being made to the VCF program. This crisis is urgent.
This is not a money bill. This is a bill about what America is all about, what New York is all about, what our brave first responders and average citizens are all about. That when people are hurt because we're attacked, we come together.
Those a few New York lawmakers here talking among the first responders, their families. They were all on Capitol Hill today to try to fight, unbelievably having to fight it all here, for adequate compensation for victims of 9/11. Let's remember who these people are. These are the people who ran to rescue. These are the people who were promised by the government that the air was safe and went there day after day for both rescue and then recovery to try and get the bodies of the fallen. We rightfully called them American heroes at the time. Our government told them there was nothing to fear. And then these many years later, after so many have died in the interregnum, we still are making them basically go hat in hand to just try to get what was promised to them in the first place. It is one of, I believe, the biggest national shames here in recent memory. Well, they're back again on Capitol Hill. They're pushing Congress to ensure that people sickened by those toxins at Ground Zero will receive the money that they most rightfully have earned and desperately need. Jon Stewart, a staunch advocate for the families and victims for years, he had this to say.
This is nonsense. I'm not going to stop, and ultimately we're going to get to a point where the light shines and shame is brought, and then this will happen. So how about we make a deal? This is your opportunity to write a final chapter for these men and women who fought for 18 years.
Now, just last week, the Victims' Compensation Fund announced there will be a cut in benefits. Now, in the years since that horrific day of 9/11, thousands of responders have become ill or lost their lives due to the toxic air that lingered for weeks. Congress, it had authorized the Victims' Compensation Fund and renewed it in 2015, but now benefits, they've been slashed, and it will actually be closing next year. Now, there is a push to fully fund it and make sure that it stays open until the last person who needs help can so get it. Congressman Jerry Nadler of New York said this.
John Field has said that for all the work he has done, and for all the times he has been here, and for all the people he has dragged here to go door to door, he doesn't want to have to do it again. And he shouldn't have to. And none of the people standing here should have to do it again. We should finally get the job done right, and we should get the job done now, and that's what we will do.
Speaking of John Field, he joins me now. He, a 9/11 first responder, the founder and president of the Feel Good Foundation. You've been down there 269 times. You've had 1,400 meetings or more over the course of 15 years. You've gone to more than 180 funerals. If I told you 10 years ago that you'd still have to be going down for this BS, this is a national embarrassment. Would you ever have believed you still have to do this hand to hand, going out with hat in hand here asking for funds?
You know, it's kind of a rhetorical question. No, I mean, I knew we'd be here in 10 years. I've seen how Congress works. everything that we've ever predicted, all of the statistics, all the numbers, all the facts, they've come true. Our analytics have always proven us to be right. We've been the validity that we have now and saying how many people were going to come forward, how many people were going to get sick, how many people were going to die, and what the future holds for us. We're just simply always right, and that's nothing to brag about, but we live the front lines every day of the 9/11 community. We're visiting hospitals, we're visiting hospice, we're going to people's houses. We know what these men and women, uniform and non-uniform, are going through. In October, when they made this announcement, we weren't surprised, but even when the policy took effect this week, as much as we were prepared for it, it's still painful, because if you're a human being and you're not a Republican or a Democrat, you have empathy and you have compassion and you have sympathy for these men and women. They were our greatest resources 18 years ago, and Congress keeps insulting them by putting an arbitrary date on legislation. Cancer, respiratory, all of these illnesses have latency periods that are different for everybody who has a different immune system, and we need a permanent bill, and we want to be left alone. And if Congress doesn't get that and can't get on board, well, then let's get into a fight. I'm in the mood for a fight.
Here's the part I don't get. I'm as cynical as anybody else, John. Nobody likes Al-Qaeda. Everybody hates what they did to us on 9/11. You'd figure every single lawmaker would get behind this. Help me out. Is the reason they put you guys through this stupidity, do they hate New York? Do they think this is some hustle disabilities, that you guys are trying to run here? Why do they keep doing this when it seems that you guys are on the side of angels?
They look at us as, they look at us as statistics and numbers. They don't hate us. We're all expendable. The more that we die and the faster that we die, they save money. We're expendable. We talk about building a wall and keeping bad people out of this country, but we forgot what's on the this side of the wall, and that's American people who are sick and suffering, and they're 9/11 heroes. And shame on two dysfunctional bodies of work for continuing to add to the pain of those who suffer.
Well, I thought today they put it right. You're talking about 12 Republican senators when it's all said and done. Do you think finally, John, that you're going to get these people on board, and as you guys are looking, you're not looking for another 5-year window, you're looking to make this thing permanent. You think you get there this time?
We're confident we're going to get the bill passed. We're confident we're going to get extended and refunded. Listen, we got 47 Dems who are going to get on board. We know 5 or 6 moderate Republicans in the Senate that are going to get on board. And then we're going to have to squeeze, shame, embarrass the other 5 or 6 that we need to get to 60. And then when we get to 60, the others will get on board. In 2015, we had 70 co-sponsors. 16 of them were Republicans. We're confident we get this done. But the fact is that we have to keep coming here to get this done. We want to be left alone. In 2015, when I told my team, I said, go home, put your swords down, pick up your rakes and go and grow something. Go plant flowers and watch stuff grow with your family. Now I ask them again to put down the rakes and pick up their swords again, because we got to fight. We got to fight our nation's lawmakers into doing the right thing. It's just embarrassing. And you know what? If you're practicing political malpractice, or if you're politically illiterate, or if you're morally bankrupt, man, we are going to make your life miserable.
And they deserve it. Finally, John, before anybody, as you said, thinks of this as math and statistics, talk about some of the people that you've either had to bury or that you're still dealing with now that can't make it through without the numbers the way they are right now, living on $1,000 a month for a family of 4, or other people that you're going to see in the hospital every day that can't breathe. Just tell a couple quick stories before I let you go.
Yeah. Sure. My best friend, Ray Pfeiffer, passed away from 9/11 cancer last year. I was there when he passed away. Gray Corbell, my other friend, I held his hand when he passed away. I've never seen death until after 9/11. And I take it personally. My board member, Vito Valente, he died from 9/11 pulmonary fibrosis. 181 funerals is enough for 10 people's lifetimes, and that chip on my shoulder gets bigger every day because my friends continue to die from their heroic actions. And we don't only advocate for 9/11 responders and those affected by 9/11. We've donated $6 million to those who can't afford to pay their utilities to keep a roof over their head. We're going food shopping for these men and women, and we're delivering it to the house, and we're filling up their refrigerators. We're giving them gas cards so they can go to a chemotherapy appointment, which is covered under the World Trade Center Health Program. You know, we're wearing many hats, and you guys are making me cry right now because when I get angry, I cry. And, you know, the pain is real, the struggle's real, the frustration's real, and it's only going to get worse until Congress gets their shit together and gets on board with this bill.
It's one of the most nationally offensive things I've seen us do, and it's an embarrassment. John, thank God for you and the guys that are still at it. And hopefully it's the last frickin' time you guys have to go down to the Hill. Enough already with this. John, thank you. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more on RFL right after this.